Good morning, fourth grade. Okay, so chapter 10, we're going to start a little bit differently. Before we even get into a lesson, we have to do a full day on vocabulary. Chapter 10 is all about lines and angles and shapes, and it is so vocabulary heavy that if we don't take a day to just focus on those vocabulary words, it's going to make our lessons a lot more difficult. So if we can look at those words before we even start, we'll be way better off. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to go over the vocabulary for chapter 10, and then you're going to have an assignment on it to practice that vocabulary, and then we'll start the lessons next week on Monday. All right, so chapter 10 vocabulary. First word is point. A point is just an exact location in a space. Okay, we would read it point A, write it point A, like if we were writing it out, and it would look like this. We've got a point, here's a space here within inside a rectangle. We've got point A, point B, and point C. Then we've got a line. A line is a straight path of points that continues without end in both directions. So it continues in both directions without end. We would draw it like this. If you can see those arrows right there, let us know that it's going to continue going on in either direction without end. We would read it line AB or line BA. We can flip-flop them both. Or we could write it like this. Line AC, like we would have the points and we have the line symbol over it. Or for line BA, we would have BA, the points on it, and then the line symbol over it. And it would look a little something like this. The line, as you can see, the arrows go on in either direction, but we do have points on that line to help us name it. Then we've got line segment, similar to a line, except it is a part of a line between two endpoints. Okay, so a line goes on in either direction. A line segment has endpoints. Okay, so it's got endpoints on either end. We would draw it like this. Here's a line, and then we've got our endpoints A and B. We would read it line segment AB or line segment BA. We can go either direction with it. And we would write it like this. We've got AB and BA, and we would just draw the line segment symbol over top of it. Notice how it does not have the arrows on either end of it. That is because it is a line segment and it does not go on forever in either direction. So it's not going to have those arrows. And then here is an example of a line segment as well. Then we've got a ray. A ray is a part of a line that has one endpoint and continues without end in one direction. So you would draw it like this. Here is one endpoint, and then as you can see over here, the arrow goes on forever in one direction and not both. We would read it ray AB, and we would write it like this, AB, and then the ray symbol over top of it. And then this is what it looks like. A really easy way to remember a ray is if you think of the dab. Yeah, the dab. I know I'm gonna try to be silly here. The dab, because we've got one endpoint right here, and then we're going on forever in the other direction. So you can go to the ray this way or go with a ray to that way. All right, so the dab is a really easy way to remember a ray. And then we've got an angle. An angle is formed by two rays or two line segments that have the same endpoint, and that shared endpoint is called the vertex. It would look like this. Okay, just notice how one ray, two rays, it makes an angle. We would read it angle ABC, angle CBA, or angle B. We can name it by the vertex. And we would write it like this, angle ABC, angle CBA, or angle B, just the angle symbol and then the points that we would name it with. And it looks something like this. Notice how the middle, the shared endpoint, the vertex is always in the middle here. Okay, so we can name it ABC or CBA, but we cannot name it BAC. Okay, we can't go this way and then this way, or we can just name it angle B by the vertex. And then we've got a right angle. A right angle forms a square corner. It looks like that. That square corner is right here. See how it kind of forms like you would think of a corner of a room. Okay, that would be a right angle where they meet like this, form a square corner. Then we've got a straight angle. A straight angle just forms a line. It looks just like this. Okay, so when you put the third point here in the middle, that's how you know it's a straight angle and not just a line, because it's got that shared endpoint. Then we've got an acute angle that looks like that, and it just is less than a right angle. A right angle is 90 degrees. So an acute angle is anywhere from 89 degrees to 0 degrees. An obtuse angle is greater than a right angle, but less than a straight angle. So it is greater than 90 degrees, but less than a straight angle, which is 180 degrees. So it would be anywhere from 91 to 179 degrees, and it looks like that. Notice how this angle is 120 degrees, which is greater than 90. And then we've got, moving into triangles, we've got an acute triangle, which is just a triangle with 3 acute angles, and it looks something like this. Remember, acute angles are less than 90 degrees, so all 3 of these angles are less than 90, which means it is an acute triangle. We've got an obtuse triangle, which is a triangle with 1 obtuse angle and 2 acute angles to make up 3 total angles. And it looks like this. Here is the 1 obtuse angle of 120 degrees, greater than 90, and the 2 smaller acute angles. And then we've got a right triangle. A right triangle is a triangle with 1 right angle and 2 acute angles. These are really easy to identify because we just look for that, that corner that right angles form inside of a triangle. So here is our right angle, which makes it a right triangle. Intersecting lines. So intersecting lines are lines in a plane that cross at exactly 1 point, and they form 4 angles. Whether it's obtuse or acute angles, they just form 4 angles. Okay, so we would draw it kind of like this. Notice how they cross each other at 1 point, and they've got 4 angles that they form, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We would read it, line AB intersects line CD at point E. So if this is line AB, it intersects line CD, and this point that they intersect at, or they cross at, would be point E. And you can write it like that. Line, remember our line symbol above our points, line AB and line CD intersect at point E. And it also looks something like this. Now, this line AB and line CD intersected at point I, but you get the point. Then we've got parallel lines. Parallel lines are lines in a plane that are always the same distance apart, and they are never going to cross. So they're just going to run next to each other in any direction, the same distance apart, and they are never, ever, ever going to cross. Parallel lines do not cross. We would draw it like this. So parallel lines look just like that. See how they're the same distance apart and they are not crossing. We would read it, line AB is parallel to line CD, and we would write it like this. So we have line AB, line CD, and then the parallel symbol in between it. And it looks also like this. Notice how it doesn't just have to go horizontally, it can go diagonally as well, as long as they are the same distance apart and do not cross. And then we've got perpendicular lines. Say that word, perpendicular. Very good, perpendicular. So perpendicular lines are lines in a plane that intersect to form 4 right angles. So intersecting lines cross and just form 4 angles. Perpendicular lines form 4 right angles. So it looks just like this. So notice how these 2 lines have crossed, they've intersected. Here is 1 right angle. Well, all 4 of these corners are going to be right angles as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4 right angles. So perpendicular lines form a cross. Okay, that's the best way to think of it, is that perpendicular lines form a cross. All right, now we're getting into the last little bit, the shapes. A quadrilateral. Say that word. Quadrilateral. Very good. Okay. A quadrilateral is a polygon, which is just a shape, with 4 sides and 4 angles. Okay. And here are the different kinds of polygons, or of quadrilaterals. They've all got 4 sides and they've all got 4 angles. Trapezoid. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral with at least one pair of parallel sides. Okay, so one pair of parallel sides, which means whether it's this side or these sides, they've got one pair of sides that are never going to cross. Okay, so here are some trapezoids. These are the parallel sides right here. The top and bottom are never going to cross. Same here, top and bottom, not going to cross. The sides here, never going to cross. Top and bottom here, never going to cross. However, here, these cannot be trapezoids. Well, for one, this has 3 sides. This is a circle. This one has 4 sides, but look, this and this, if we continue these lines out, they are eventually going to end up crossing because they are at an angle. And same with these ones. And then here as well, this line is going to end up crossing with, they're going to end up crossing. If we continue going this way with these ones, they are going to intersect down here somewhere. So trapezoids have one pair of parallel sides, at least one. Parallelograms are quadrilaterals with 2 pairs of parallel sides and 2 pairs of sides of equal length, and they look like this. So one parallel sides here, one pair of parallel sides here, and then 2 sides of equal length. These sides are equal and these are equal as well. So 1 pair, 2 pairs. That is a parallelogram. Think of the state of Tennessee when you think of a parallelogram, kind of like a slanted rectangle. And then we've got a rhombus. A rhombus is a quadrilateral with 2 pairs of parallel sides and 4 sides of equal length. Okay, so this is a rhombus. Think of a slanted square or maybe even a diamond if you kind of shift it a little, if you kind of look at it sideways. So a diamond or a slanted square is a rhombus. 2 pairs of parallel sides, 1 pair of parallel sides here, top and bottom, and the other pair here, side to side, and then 4 sides of equal length. All 4 sides are the same length. And we've got a rectangle. We know what a rectangle is. It is a quadrilateral that has 2 pairs of parallel sides, 2 pairs of sides of equal length, and 4 right angles. So this is where the rectangle is different from the parallelogram. Okay, the parallelogram has both of these first 2 things, 2 pairs of parallel sides and 2 pairs of sides of equal length. However, it does not form 4 right angles like a rectangle does. So 1 pair of parallel sides, 2 pairs of parallel sides, 4 right angles. All right, and the last word we have is a square. A square is a quadrilateral with 2 pairs of parallel sides, 4 sides of equal length, and 4 right angles. And it looks like this. All right, guys, that is your chapter 10 vocabulary. I told you there's a lot. We're going to review each lesson, the vocabulary words that pertain to that lesson that we're talking about that day. But I thought it would be a pretty good idea if I at least exposed you and showed you all the vocabulary that we will be looking at this over the course of chapter 10, so that you had a little bit of background knowledge before we just jumped right into it and tried to do the vocabulary and the lesson at the same time. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you on Monday when we start chapter 10. Have a great day, guys.